Hi everyone, and welcome back to another week and another tutorial. This week I'm going to help out Michael. Close that. Michael is a very good supporter of mine. He's been with me for a long time now on YouTube, watching my videos. He's stuck, he needs a bit of help. Okay, I hope we can help him. He wants to learn how to make, or how to paint rather, kind of galvanized metal roof on a shed or a barn, something like that. So I said, yeah, we'll give it a go, let's try it, see how we get on. I have a nice square bit of canvas here, I think square for a change, something nice. We're going to paint a galvanized metal roof on an old farm, kind of a shed, okay, out in the wilderness. So something nice and small, a nice little subject for you to practice on. I hope you like it. Let's go and have a bit of fun with this. Okay, there we go. I'm going to put the photograph up. There it is. A beautiful little barn, very rustic, old, kind of a worn, broken down kind of a barn. I presume it's derelict. It's beautiful, isn't it? And that lovely, rusty, galvanized roof. I'm looking forward to doing that. Now I picked this image because there's a beautiful soft kind of a background on it. Do you see that? It's very misty, and let's see if we can try and create some of that kind of mist in the scene, some depth, lots of distance, and so lots of pale colours. Now I'm going to do a quick sketch of the barn, okay? Now I keep calling it a barn. Is it a barn? Yes, it's probably a barn. A shed. A barn slash shed. People call it different things. So I'm going to go, let's start with the bottom, okay? I get a rough reference for the bottom of the shed. Here we go, on the barn. I'm going to call it a barn, okay, because us Europeans call it different names to the Americans, okay, just so we're clear. And let's go up a bit like that at the back. Now let's go over here to the corner. Let's come up again. You can be very rough with these lines because it is a very old barn. It's not going to be perfectly straight, is it? And let me see now. I'm going to find the center point for this. So let's go center here and imagine that line is up and it goes right up very high, doesn't it? So let's go around there and let's come down like that and then leave it flick out a little at the end. And then let's do the same with this one. Let's just come down like that. Okay, now for the side, to create the distance and perspective in this, to create a kind of a 2D or 3D shape, what you want to do is, excuse me, from this line, you want to go up slightly at a slight slant like this, okay? So you can see that. And then what you want to do is from this line, you need to go down slightly, only slightly, okay? Because let's imagine we're standing looking at this in the field and our eyes are around here. So everything above our eyes is going to come downwards and everything below our eyes is going to go upwards slightly, isn't it? So for example, the roof is going to be like this, okay? This side is going to go down slightly like this. Now, it doesn't have to go down a lot. Even if it was horizontal, it would still give you the impression of something going off into the distance, wouldn't it? Now that's even a horizontal line, okay? That's a straight line straight across. Now on this, it's very sort of up and down. And let's go up a little bit like that. And let's go down. See? The roof is falling in. And let's just go at the bottom like that. Now, so you can see we have perspective already, don't we? Let's put in a line down here. And we have a lot of lats then going across like that, don't we? Okay. Now, from this point, this is where we need to be careful. So, on the photograph, you can see it kind of comes down at a slight angle. It's not a very, very steep angle, I'll be honest. We don't want to go too steep because it might look a bit funny, you see. So let's go to around here, and then let's just bring that down like that. Now I think that's fairly good, isn't it? We have a couple of lats showing through here and there. You don't have to worry about those. Let's see. Let's just sketch roughly what the dark areas are. Okay, just to give us a bit of guidance. Do you know what I mean? So we've that there, and we've another one at the other side. Again, I'm not being too straight with my lines. I'll probably paint over everything in here and do the details last. So that's it. I think that's all we need to do. No sketching of trees or anything like that. Okay? This will do absolutely fine. Now, if you feel If your feet needs to be a little bit higher, or if it's just, if it looks like it's kind of squashed slightly, just bring this down a little, okay? There we go. That's it. It seems to be a bit better. And that's it. That's all we need to do. Right. What I did before I done this sketch now was, I took some tissue, right? Just some paper towel like this. And I took some linseed oil. Just regular linseed oil from the art store. And I just kept doing this, and I kept rubbing it around on the canvas like this. And what that's doing for me then is, it's just giving me a little bit of a base to work on. That's all. And it just helps the paint move around nicely. Right, I'm going to start with my medium stubby brush, and I'll tell you my colours. I have titanium white, naples yellow, cadmium yellow pale, a little cobalt blue this time, some cadmium red, crimson, alizarin crimson, some burnt sienna, and a little black. Okay, I might add some burnt umber on, but I don't think we'll need it. Let's start with this lovely background now, and I'm going to get a lovely light grey for this background, okay? So I have turpentine. Let's dip our brushes into the turpentine and get it nice and damp. Now I'll just rub on my brush here, because over time the bristles get quite tough if they fill with paint too much. So what I do then is I just take like a rough surface, like a piece of flat timber or something, and I scrub like this, and that just softens out the bristles then a little bit. So that's what I do. You hear me kind of, see, you hear me scrubbing at the background. Now it's grand and soft again. Okay, some turpentine, some white. Now only a little turpentine. Some white, and I'm going to go with a hint of black. Okay. Now this is lamp black, so it's a warm black. It'll give us a nice warm grey already. Now let's take a bit more. Again, now you don't want to go too dark with this background, because the focus is on this rich dark front of this barn and that lovely galvanized roof. So this really only needs to be nice and soft and pale in the background, okay? So I keep adding little bits of white to this now. And what I might add is a tiny hint of cobalt blue as well. And that'll just help give it that little bit of distance. So it's a grey with a bit of distance in it. A nice pale, soft grey. Look at that, that's lovely. So, paint this on. So you can see now how this is going around lovely and smoothly on my canvas here. The canvas is dry itself, but you can kind of feel the oil in the canvas. It's lovely. And as soon as you start putting this on, it kind of unlocks that oil, and it starts... it brings the oil out of the canvas, do you know what I mean? And it's really, really nice to work on. Now I'm going to just take some white and a little naples yellow, okay, on my dry brush, and I'm going to go up here and put that in the corner up here, because it's nice and light up in that corner. And as it comes down now, I'm going to start getting more and more green, okay? A very kind of a dull, distant kind of a green. So the colour I would use for that, for a nice far off green, I would use some black, okay? Any black you have will do fine. Some white. I take a tiny drop of turpentine with the corner of my brush. Then I would take a hint of cadmium yellow pale. Now that in itself is a lovely soft grey green kind of a colour. Okay, you see that? Lovely and soft. Perfect now for what I want here for this. I'm going to soften that off into the green there, look. Let it just sort of dance around and disappear into the distance. And you could even just mess around with different techniques. So for example, I'm just going around in circles, look. Go up through that grey around in circles. That'll give you an impression of the kind of twirly, kind of a misty sort of a feeling in the painting. Of mist kind of creeping in here and there, you see? Isn't that lovely? I beg your pardon. I have a very dry throat today. I think it's probably from... I've an oil heater in the studio here, and every time I put it on, my throat gets very dry. So it's really, really annoying. So I apologise if I keep coughing. I know it's very, very annoying to watch. Okay, a little bit more blue, a little bit more cadmium yellow, and a little hint of black again. So now we're getting into some of the richer greens in the front. Okay, now, let me see. Let me just think about this. Okay, I'm going to dampen that, take some white with Naples yellow, and I'm going to do that instead. So ignore the first part there, okay? Just take Naples white and yellow and soften that through here, like so. Okay, let's put a touch of it through here and there too. Look, see? Just imagine there's kind of some distant trees way off there. I was kind of trying something different there, but I kind of went back on it then, and you know what I mean? So that's the great thing about painting. Now all I want really in this is a subtle background. That's all I'm kind of after. I'm thinking now, maybe dry my brush just slightly on the tissue, and I'm going to just go into some sienna with a little cadmium yellow. Dry brush now, okay? And some Naples yellow. And I'm going to put a hint of that colour. You can see a hint of that colour in the trees in the background there. It's lovely, isn't it? And you see the way my brush is all splayed out. That's the way I use my brushes for painting trees, okay? Because they're worn out. They're just dry, soft brushes. And I just kind of dab in a sort of a circular motion here and there, you see? And I just want to add in a hint of that colour into the background. Now, it's not going to be all the same, so it's just that piece there. Then I will take, let's say, a little hint of cobalt blue into that. That will then give me a slightly darker green, look. And I'm just kind of dabbing it through here and there. And it's just to give the impression of some trees in the distance. Okay, not a lot, but just a few. Let's put another one or two. And this nice kind of warm colour here now, this kind of sienna colour, will complement the red on the shed very, very well. So that's good. And that's kind of helping then bring the painting together. Now, I took a little bit of black and a little bit of yellow there. I'm just going to suggest one or two darker trees just behind it there. Okay, like so. I'll take a little bit more black, a little bit more yellow. I'm using tiny amounts of paint now as well, okay? Tiny amounts, look. It's really, really very dry, the brush. And that's how it's sticking then to the background, because it's slightly thicker paint. There we go. Now this background is only just a very quick impression of the background, alright? The focus is on this shed, so this barn rather. So don't go into too much detail with the background at all. Now I'm going to take my dry brush, a little bit of white and a little touch of cadmium yellow, and I'm going to create some yellow misty grassy kind of colour off in the distance there, look. And soften it up then. You could even soften out some of those trees if you want. And I'll come over here then, make that slightly darker, so I'll just dip my brush in turpentine, rub it on my tissue, just to take some of the colour out. Let's go for some black, some cadmium yellow, and I think that will even do for now. Let's go with that. I'm going to fill that in, just to the side, and again soften this up, look, soften it right up. With the tip of the brush, just softening it together. Now I'm going to go for some burnt sienna into the black. And that will give me sort of a burnt umber colour. Now, again, soften it up, scrubbing it sideways at different angles, just to give you a little impression of it's getting darker as it comes down. Yes? Very, very simple, subtle background. Nothing fancy at all. Okay, how's that looking? Let's now go in and put in the front of all of this. Okay, we can put in the front. So I'm just dipping my brush in my turpentine again and giving a good rub on some tissue. And let's go into some cadmium yellow. And let's take some titanium white. And then let's go for some cobalt blue. Now remember, I was telling you before, cobalt blue is very forgiving. It's a very forgiving colour. It doesn't overpower your mix too much. So you can see now how much I've taken a lot of cobalt blue there now, look. and it's only making a little bit of a difference to my mix. If that was French ultramarine or phaylo blue, it would completely overpower everything, and everything would go a rich dark blue immediately. So cobalt blue is lovely for subtle greens like this. Now let me take a look. That's a nice subtle green, look at it. Let's just dab it off up into the distance, look. So it's getting more and more and more distant, see? And let's come down now and fill this all in with this wonderful colour. Beautiful colour. A beautiful bright rich green. And we will kind of add little bits to this now as well, don't worry. So more cobalt blue, more cadmium yellow. Make it a little bit richer perhaps, down at the front. And generally, let me get some more paint there now, I do apologise. Generally, when something comes towards you, it gets a little bit stronger in colour and in value. That just helps kind of create distance. But in this photograph, it's kind of the same all the way down, albeit a little bit richer on the front. So let's try it now. Let's take some more cobalt, some more cadmium yellow pale, and I may even add a hint of sienna. Let's try that. That's a bit better now, isn't it? Look. And I'll show you my technique then in just a moment for creating texture on grass. So this is just kind of the under layer, really, the base coat, let's call it, yes? Let's soften it off up there, look like that. Soften it over there. Generally, when I paint grass, I'll always paint like the darker shade first, and then I go over it with my fan brush. So I'll show you what I mean now. Look, I'm taking a little bit of blue and a little bit of black, and I'm just kind of darkening here and there where I think it may be in shadowed. So just like around the front of the barn there, just loosely, look. And let's come down here and put a piece across there like that. So what I do now to create a nice kind of highlight and the richness of the grass is I'll take a fan brush. Now I have one here. Now you see my fan brush there, it's gone very kind of hard. I left paint on this, look. I left black paint on it and it's gone quite hard. So what I do is I simply take a bit of blue tissue, okay, dip it in some turpentine and just give it a rub around in circles like that, look. And that takes off most of the paint. Now be careful, hold the bristle like this, okay? So you don't pull the bristle out of the ferrule of the brush, the metal piece. Just hold it, give it a little pull like that. See, it's getting softer already. Round in circles again. And then what I do as well is I take like a piece of timber or something and I scrape it along the timber like this with my finger, like that, look. And that drags off all the hard paint off of the bristles, okay? Now it's fine for now, look, it's much better. Let's now take a little, let me see, let's go for a little touch of cadmium yellow and some titanium white and a little bit of blue. Now that's very bright, so a little hint of cobalt blue into that. That will just tone it down and give me the light, kind of bright grassy colour that you'd see in fields. So look, with this colour now, lots of this colour on the tip of the fan brush, okay? I'm just going to go along, dab, 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 very gently off in the distance, and then bring it down towards you. You see what I mean? Now ideally, you would need a brand new clean fan brush. My fan brush is not flat, you see it? It's very wiggly and wobbly. That's why it's, I would rather this now be completely flat and straight, but we'll work with it. Look, it's fine. So I'm just going along. Dab, 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 just here and there. Create some light on the grass. That's all. Very simple. Okay? Now, in by the shed, it is going to get much, much, much darker, isn't it? So let's just clean my fan brush. I'll dip it in my turpentine, give it a good rub. Just take the light colour off. I'm going to go in now with a very rich dark green in there. So a dark green is lamp black, lots of cadmium yellow, Now that will even do fine, okay? That's a very, very rich, dark green. And let's just go in here, give it a couple of dabs. It's a lovely technique for softening grasses together, that kind of thing. I'll take a little burnt umber actually. I'll add a little hint of burnt umber here and there. Okay, now that'll do fine. I'm just going to soften that now away kind of off into the colour around it, you see? Just with the tip of my brush. Okay, let's leave it at that. That looks fine to me. You could, if you wanted to, with a very fine pointy brush, with a little turpentine, suggest one or two tree trunks in behind that roof, okay? Just one or two coming up, look. With very thin paint, very thin, watery kind of a paint. Okay? That's all you have to do. Nothing fancy. You don't have to go painting tree trunks with highlights and shadows and all that kind of thing on it. You don't. You can just keep it nice and simple like this. Okay? It's just, you see? Just adds a little more to the painting. Time for our shed, or barn. Apologies. I am sorry to everyone. My pronunciations are completely wrong. Right. A flat brush. And let's go now and do the front of the barn first here, yes? I'm going to dampen it very slightly, give it a dry, so it's only just damp now, okay? And I'm thinking, very simply, burnt umber. Let's take lots of paint now for this. A hint of black, a hint of crimson. Let's try crimson, let's go for a bit of pink in this, might be nice. Let's just paint all of this now because these three colours are very rich and very transparent, okay? And what I mean by transparent is they kind of show the canvas, they show the layers underneath through. You see the way? It's showing the whiteness of the canvas. If that was burnt umber now, with cadmium red, it wouldn't show through as much because they're very thick, opaque kind of colours. But this now is lovely and translucent, and it has lots of saturation in it. Now, even when I turn my brush at an angle like this, right, I'm still pulling it downwards. Because the timber is going downwards, the brush strokes have to come downwards like this for it to kind of to show the direction of the wood, okay? Just bear that in mind. Now, nice black spot down here. Come across, just painting that black square. Okay, then come along here. Just pulling all this paint down, see? Creating the length of the timber. Now, let's go again. Let's take some burnt sienna, a little bit of black, little hint of crimson. And then come down here to the roof. Now, I've just been very kind of loose with it, that's all. Now we'll come down first at the sides here. You could just come down on an angle like this first, okay, just to get your line. And then pull straight down. Okay, just remember to pull your brush strokes vertical, okay? That's all you have to do. And you've already created the impression of timber, haven't we? Just in this quick couple of minutes. Isn't it lovely? Now let's put in a nice little dark piece in there. Let's just take some black. Okay, nice simple black. We'll worry about details then later on, okay? Now what I want to do next is I'm going to switch brushes now. I'm going to go to a smaller brush, alright? Hope you don't mind. And a smaller flat brush. I'm going to start adding some lights into this. With a dry brush, all you need to do is just let's take some Naples yellow and burnt sienna, and let's put a little bit of that through just here and there, look. Just little flicks. Now you can use a palette knife for this. A lot of people just use palette knives, and they use the Bob Ross kind of method with just a palette knife and scrape it down. But I find that this is just a lot more fun. I think it's a bit more fun. You tend to kind of learn a lot more how to use your brush when doing it like this, rather than just using a palette knife and dragging it straight down. That kind of spoils the fun of painting for me. I like just using a brush. See, look, it's the very same effect. Now I'll take a little pointy brush. In fact, no, I won't. I'll keep this brush, right? What I'll do is I'll take a little bit of black with some crimson, really dark colour, and I'm going to go right up here under the eave of this roof now and pull it down, look. There we go. Nice rich dark colours up there. Let's take some crimson, alizarin crimson, and pull it through, and a little bit here and there on that side. See what I mean? There, isn't that lovely? Gives you a lovely little texture. Now let's take a little bit more black and create a little window down here. Right, and we have what I like to call bits and bobs. Is that what they say? That's what we say here over in Ireland. Lots of different little bits and pieces. You know, it's difficult to tell what they are, but it's just a series of marks. Bits and bobs, that's what I call them. I hope you can understand. Little bits and bobs, okay? Now, that's okay for now. Let's move to a smaller brush and let's put perhaps a little bit of detail in there. Let's try a little bit of light grey. Let's get some black and some white. And I'll take a hint of blue as well. Nice, light kind of a grey. Let's pull some grey ones down here and there. A little bit more colour, a bit more black, a little bit more blue. Let's create a little bit of a darker grey just here and there, look. Now, I'm going to go a little bit darker than that and just create some pieces going horizontally here and there. Okay, we have a couple coming down like that. And look, give them a little wiggle because they're not always going to be absolutely perfect, are they? A bit like that. And again, bits and bobs, see? Little bits and pieces. Now, I will clean my brush and I'm going to take some of the bright green colour with some white, and I'm going to just add a little bit of that to this here and a little bit inside here. So it's almost like you can see right through the barn, isn't it? Put a little bit through there. Okay. Now, so now we're getting some nice little textures on this, aren't we? Now with a little bit of black on your pointy brush, let's go and create little bits, again, bits and bobs, and let's pull some black lines down because there are some very, very dark ones in there as well. Okay, like that. Now, isn't that coming on lovely? Now that one might be a little bit bright there in the centre, so I'm going to just take some sienna, a little bit of sienna, over that one, okay? And I'll go for some jet black on its own, then really blacky black, just for inside here. Just on one kind of side, okay? Just sort of letting it disappear over. And I'll put more black in on this side here, just to really catch some of those darks, yes? Now, there we go. Okay, we're moving on to the next side. Of the shed. I'm just kind of dabbing here and I'm putting bits and pieces in. Moving on to the next section of the shed now, on the left hand side. Okay, let's take our small brush. Let's make up a nice grey for this. Some titanium white, some lamp black, a little bit more white. I want a nice medium kind of a grey now for this. And I might take a little hint of blue. Let me try this. Okay, I'll go with that. I'm going to cover all of that now with this grey. I know it's not all grey, but I'm just going to cover it all with grey first. You see, it's picking up little touches of the brown here and there, isn't it? Little touches. Even at the bottom, look, you can soften it in at the bottom as well. And then I'm going to mix then, let me see. I'm just going to take a slightly darker grey kind of a brown. So some burnt sienna with some black. And I'm going to come over here. And it's just very messy, isn't it? It's very sort of it's all kind of messed up. I'm going to put the impression of these boards going across here first, okay? And then there's a very dark piece kind of coming down. It's very messy. Little bit of sienna. Go over a little bit of sienna. Now, let's go to our smaller brush. Again, let's try some crimson this time with some black. And let's go and create some little ridges on these boards here. And it's just very sort of hit and miss. It's very kind of messy, isn't it? There's no real detail that you can see as such. It's all just very, very messy. Let me just take a little hint of cobalt blue with some white, and then a little bit of crimson. I'm going to put a nice light colour here and there on some of these, okay? Because they could be catching some light. See? And maybe even a little bit on the blue side as well. Put a couple like that. One or two. See what I mean? So they're just kind of catching the light here and there. Now, I'm going to leave that for now, I think. Let me just add perhaps a little bit more of a rough kind of a feel to some of this. Let me go on here, so add a couple of dabs of black here and there. Now, I'm going to leave it at that for now. I just want to concentrate on the roof. We'll come back and do some more detail later on this. So, roof. I'm going to go back to my slightly bigger brush, give it a quick clean on some tissue, just to take that darker colour off, that's all. Very, very quickly. And I want to mix a nice pinky brown now for this. Normally I would use burnt umber with crimson, but I don't have burnt umber on my palette. There's no need to put it out. Let's mix it ourselves, yes? Okay, a damp brush, let's take some crimson and get some black. and some burnt sienna. And then I'm going to add to that a little hint of Naples yellow. Now I don't have much left, I have to get some Naples yellow. It's probably one of my favourite colours. It's one of my most used colours in painting. Naples yellow. It's absolutely beautiful, chalky colour. It gives you some beautiful textures. Now we have a nice kind of pinky brown there, you see. Naples yellow, a little bit of crimson, a bit of black, touch of burnt sienna. Let's have a look. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I have the picture next to me here, okay, look. That's my picture. So I'm just glancing backwards and forwards to compare the colours, okay? No, that's not bad, that's not far off. I'll go with that, I think, for now. I'll go up here now and I'll create the ridge of the roof coming down. Then come down. By the way, you can use a small pointy brush for this if you like, or a small round brush. It doesn't have to be flat. I'm just used to using these flat brushes all of the time. Let me go more. A little bit more Naples yellow as it comes over. It seems to kind of get slightly lighter to kind of give it that little bit of distance and depth in the painting. A little bit more Naples yellow. There we go. Now I've taken a touch of turpentine there. I take some crimson, a little hint of cobalt blue. I want to add a little bit of mauve into this because there's quite, I can see kind of a mauvey undertone to some of this. Just kind of here and there. It's not everywhere, but it's just here and there, I can see it. And I'm pulling my brush down in the direction of the roof, okay? So it's coming like this. So that's the direction I'm pulling my brush. Don't pull your brush straight down like this or across like this, because you want to get that feeling of the direction, don't you? Now a bit more sienna in that. I'm just going to darken it slightly down at the back here and go right down to the end. And just pull loads of little lines down, that's all. Look. Now, I'm going to take a slightly lighter colour with that. So I'm going to put some Naples yellow into that with a hint of white. And I'm going to come down the edge. It's a very, very pale pink I have. Just come down and separate those two there. Okay, just like that. And we have some kind of, now that's the rusty sort of colour that we have. If you want to put some rust now, Michael, on this, take some burnt sienna with some Naples yellow, okay? And then basically just put a couple of flicks of that here and there, look. And it will give the impression of little bits of rust on the panels, okay, here and there. Even just, look, let's even try some sienna on its own. Because sienna is a kind of an orangey brown anyway. Alright, then I'm going to take a nice light colour now, Michael. I'm going to take some white, a little hint of crimson, and some Naples yellow. Very, very bright, pinky, warm kind of a pink, okay? Very, very light. And up on the top there you can see where it sort of started coming off. I'm pulling down in the direction of that roof, okay? And again, you can use a palette knife now for this if you like. And just scrape it all the way down with the knife. That's another technique you could use. But as I said, I prefer this, it's a lot more fun. I think you just learn a lot more with your brush doing it this way. A little bit of light blue. Again, I'll just give it a couple of dabs along the top of the roof. You see? And you could even come down again with that colour let's go down here. See, so I'm just creating the ridges on the metal roof with a pointy brush, that's all. Try not to go too try not to make it look too perfect. You know, it's a very old roof, it's there a long time. Let's get some crimson and some burnt sienna. Let's even get a hint of black in there. Let's put in 1 or 2 darks. Okay. Now I'm going to go along under here and give it a real dark, and maybe put in some of the roof kind of peeling off as well. How about that? Actually, that's a good idea. Let's try that. Let's pretend the roof is starting to peel and it's exposing some of those lats. Okay. We go, there's one. And we have another one, little bit, kind of showing there. And we have some over here then. Okay. Quite nice, isn't it? Coming on lovely. And let's get some black, rich black, and go in under these with some nice rich black. Alright, and we go up here, give those a little shadow in there, and I can see a piece after kind of breaking off, like that. And the same over here, let's go with a little shadow, some of these. Now, I see a little bit of metal sticking up. We'll try and put that in. Wouldn't that be nice if we could do that? Okay, there's a piece there, and we have another piece of grey metal kind of over here. It looks like it's kind of peeling off. Okay, and we have a dark line then kind of coming down just along there like that. Okay. Now, we're getting somewhere now, aren't we? Now that is kind of pretty much, I would leave it at that. I wouldn't go into any more detail, Michael, because you just want to give it a nice impression. That's all you want to do. I wouldn't go doing loads and loads of details. I think this is just enough detail now for a painting like this. It's up to yourself. If you feel you want to add more to it, you can, absolutely. But I would say just be careful not to overdo it. Okay? Just be careful. Now let me, a couple more darks up there. Okay, a little bit of shadow coming down. Now I'm going to get my palette knife. When I was going to get my palette knife, I think I get my, let's try the fan. I'm going to get lots of yellow now on this, right? I'll show you what I'm going to do. Just to finish this off nicely, complement those orangey colours. Let's take some cadmium yellow, a little bit of cadmium red, and let's create a nice orange. And look, let's put some little orange flowers here and there, coming up into that painting. Isn't that lovely? Yes? A little bit of red. Isn't that wonderful? We put a couple of stems on these there now as well. But look, isn't that lovely now, just to break up the painting just a little. and a little sienna just at the base here. Now we can use our knife if you like to try that. Let's try it with a knife. Take a bit of yellow, a bit of red. You can put in little dabs of colour with that as well. No problemo at all. No problem. Keep it nice and simple, have a bit of fun. Right, let's get a couple of stems. A couple of dark brown stems, I would say. Take a bit of burnt sienna with some black. I won't go too dark. And let's just give them a couple of light stems coming down. There we go. Isn't that wonderful? So I think this turned out lovely now, Michael, don't you? I hope you've learned something from it. I hope you've gotten some hints and tips from it. Do let me know what you think. That, my friends, is the end of that. Now I do want to sit down the shed on the grass just a little, so I'll just take a little tiny brush, just dab, kind of blend it together somewhat. See, just there and there. And we'll leave it at that. You can add more to this, as I said, if you like. It's completely up to yourself. But I think that is a lovely success. Let me zoom in and show you what we've done. There we are. Lovely distant colours up in the top there, okay? Nice warm greys. And a nice simple metal roof on a barn. It could be metal, it could be timber, but it looks like metal to me. There we are. Nice and simple. So, Michael, I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me turn the camera here. Oh. There we go. Fun. That was a lot of fun. I'm very happy with that. Look, there we go. Isn't that lovely? I'm very happy with that. Thank you so much, Michael, for your request. If anybody out there wants to, if anybody out there is looking for any help with anything in particular, just let me know, because they make beautiful tutorials, as you can see. You know, just bear in mind, something nice and kind of quick, not something with loads and loads and loads of detail, because it turns into a 2-part or 3-part tutorial then, if it's something with a lot of detail. So, you know, kind of subjects, different subjects. If you want me to do something for you, just let me know, I will be delighted. I hope you've enjoyed this week's tutorial. Please do subscribe and share all these videos on your Facebook, share them on your social media, because so many people I think are missing out on lots of these videos which they could be learning from. So yeah, thank you so much. I'll see you again next week, and happy painting to you all, my friends.